What's
Welcome
going on?
to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. How you doing, bro?
What's happening, dipshits? something happened while we were doing
So,
our pod last week.
it was literally I pressed end the stream, and then my phone got an alert, and then Russia decided to invade Ukraine. And
Yeah.
the first thought I had was, what the hell did we do?
I don't know.
What the hell
We
did we
started the
say?
butterfly effect. I guess.
I don't know what we did. Was it the
Yeah,
talk? I think
mean,
Biden got offended about all the white people talk we did.
yeah, and they just needed the war on white people. This is white on white. Yes, it's like white on white crime, isn't it?
There's no such thing as white on white crime. That's just
white on white war crimes. Apparently, like
kidding.
now, I guess like Putin's like being accused of fucking using bad weapons and stuff that are like illegal. Like he's already being accused of war crimes.
I didn't know
escalated real quick.
Illegal in war. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, I guess like there's some sort of code of ethics to what kind of weapons you use and where and when. Like you're not allowed to use certain kind of weapons on like an urban or city environment. It's some weapons you're allowed to. Like you could use certain bombs, but you can't use these bombs. You could use these bombs, but you can't use these bombs.
I almost feel like if you're going to war, you probably shouldn't be allowed to bomb civilians to begin with. You should
I guess that would seem like the logical thing, is to not, turn any weapons on civilian populations. But
you could also look at it. I'll just play devil's advocate, as I always do that. I'll play devil's advocate and say, who are these selfish people being in the way of war? I almost made you joke.
War makes money. This is what I'm saying. Like everybody's bitching about the economy and inflation. You got to understand, sometimes like, and not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but sometimes things, start to stink a little bit. And just when everybody's economies are starting to tank, the tanks start rolling in.
It's so ironic that it just so happens to be exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it could be coincidental. And this is going to happen anyway because Russia's, like always had like some sort of underlying plan to take territory back from Ukraine and to take back other former Soviet territories. This isn't something that's new. I mean, like we knew it was going to happen anyway. We knew it was going to eventually happen, that he was going to end up trying to take another piece of Ukraine. But I don't think we knew that he was just going to outright full on, like blitzkrieg or attempt to, because apparently they're failing. They're running out of fuel.
Supposedly they're doing better now, but
I mean, day to day.
They took a town. They took a big city. They took over a big city where the mayor of that city had to like get away and flee.
Yeah, he fled the city, and then Kiev. They're like literally right at the gates. So
the enemy's at the gates.
I don't know. The enemy is at the gates. I mean, speaking of propaganda.
Yeah, let's go right into that. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I was a little disappointed. I like those feel good, like war stories and stuff like that. But they were all bullshit. The ghost, especially the ghost of Kiev, is supposed to be like that, like that Rambo, like Top Gun story. You know what I mean? Like to where it's just like one lone wolf takes out a fucking whole squad of fighter jets. But which is near impossible because the Ukrainians have outdated tech and the Russians have been working on their MiGs
the story. The story is he stole one from a previous war in like 2013 or 14 when the last time they went to battle, and he's had it.
So he just has this thing in his backyard.
It's in his barn. I mean, people find planes in barns all the time. You're laughing, but it's true. Like rich people, like not rich people, but people who own a plane.
Not fighter jets, though, but not fighter jets.
Yes, given it's not a fighter jet.
No one's gonna find a warthog in a fucking barn in Kansas.
I would love to find a warthog in a barn in Kansas.
No, but most likely, if you're finding an airplane in a barn, it's like some World War I era fucking, biplane or some shit. Yeah,
how is he maintaining the plane? Like they're extremely expensive to maintain.
Yeah, that seems like something you would have to be. So that that story sort of unraveled, as to being fake, and then that gangster ass old lady with the sunflower seeds, and telling the guy that put these in your pocket so when you die on my land, at least beautiful flowers will grow. Like that's pretty gangster. But the thing is, that, they would have likely shot her in the face if she said
I was going to say yes.
And like
the original story was she went up to them and said, "What the fuck are you doing in my country?" And then all of a sudden it became a flower. And I'm like, it sounds like bullshit to me.
Well, that's the telephone game,
And also they said
off a picture. It's like one picture.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they said thousands upon thousands of Russian troops were killed at one point. Now it's only like 150 Russian troops and thousands of Ukrainians. So who do you believe?
So then they switch it because it was the other way around. It was like a whole bunch of Russians.
They switched it.
No, but there are people dying. I mean, you do see like there were Russian casualties, out, left, there were bodies left out on the road after, I guess, part of some convoy was attacked by Ukrainians. And even though they're pretty much, bare bones, I guess they don't have the military might of the Russians, but they have I guess a large civilian population that have taken up arms, which if anything is in support of the right to bear arms. It's these these Ukrainian civilians fighting off Russian military with their own home-bought firearms.
Look what the government did. The government said, "Oh shit, we need the military," and they gave out rifles. Why?
They're not getting those rifles back. I guarantee you that.
If literally, there's no need for rifles, as our lovely government says, then why is that government giving out rifles?
Yeah, so Joe Biden was saying something to the effect of why would you need any more? Why would you need that many bullets in a magazine? Why would you need magazines that hold this many bullets? And it's like, well, just in case somebody tries to invade our land, you don't have to guess, how much you have left. You know what I mean? Or you don't have to, you have 15 more shots instead of the 15 that you're only allowed by the government. What would you rather have if you're, bunkered down in your house? Would you rather have 30 rounds in a magazine, or would you rather have the government telling you only have 10 rounds in a magazine?
I'd rather have 500 rounds in my magazine.
I'd rather carry a fucking magazine that holds 100 rounds. But what I'm saying is, if shit hits the fan, you're not going to give a shit about the politics of it all. If you have to defend yourself, you're gonna if you don't have a firearm, you're gonna wish you fucking did. And the people who own them that you thought you had some sort of moral friction with, you're gonna start being like, how do I use that? Like at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was like, how do I get a gun? How do I get a gun? How do I get a gun? And it's like, oh, when shit hits the fan, everybody fucking wants it. But then as soon as there's a school shooting, it's like, take them all away. You know what I mean?
They always blame the guns. They blame the guns and not the people.
Not the psycho who's holding it.
And they don't realize anything could be a weapon. Look at the guy that drove the car through the parade. Two people it's happened to, actually. Twice it's happened.
Yeah, the SUV. That. Hey, listen, driving into crowds is not anything new. I mean, they were doing that in Europe. I mean, they had car. The car terrorist in France, and then they had the other one in London. So then they had that other guy in Lower Manhattan, the guy in the U-Haul truck that just started running over people by West Street over there in Battery Park a couple of years back in 2016 or 2015.
I think it was 2015.
So I mean, a car is definitely a great weapon when you want to hurt a lot of people in one shot. But you know what I mean? Like when you want to protect.
Someone said to me, why does everyone have to always fight with soldiers and civilians get killed? Why can't the two leaders just fight it out themselves? And I said, whoa, hold on. No.
Putin's a judo master.
Putin is a judo fighter. He will probably murder a lot of people. He probably has already murdered a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, when he does those demonstration, videos and stuff, when he's in gi, he's usually like everybody's just taking a fall for him, but his technique is still there. He could take care of himself if he had to.
Yeah,
at least against an 80-year-old.
No one's going full force, full power on Putin when they're on the mats with him.
No, imagine somebody tried to get Froggy sparring with Putin. He fucked him up. He'd be dead. They'd take him out in the back and fucking shoot him.
If you slam him down, you're dead. You can't even slam him down. It's like when is it my turn? You don't get a turn. You're grappling with fucking Putin. It's all his turn.
Listen, we're going to let the president. She's going to throw you around, okay? It's for camera.
He's gonna go 100%. You're gonna go 50%.
Just try not to get too hurt, okay? And they slap him on the back, and then he's getting tossed around for 20 minutes by the president of Russia. But which is probably nice in his own, because he can be like, "Oh, I got to
the
roll
dictator
with
of Russia. He's not a president.
Yeah,
he was not elected. He was not elected.
I guess he was the first time around, right? What's the history on that? Wasn't he elected the first time around?
Sure, but you can't.
Yeah, he just never left office.
Hold on, you can't not get elected if you kill all your opposition. If there's no one to vote for, and you get one vote from one idiot, you won.
You won, yeah. I mean, that's like the Saddam Hussein method on how to take over a government, I guess. You know, to strong arm your way through it, which is sort of what he did. I mean, didn't he? Like, he's got like an entourage of like all former.
Well, he's gone and dead now.
Yeah. But,
they murdered him, just like they murdered Gaddafi.
Yeah. But, you know, like, no, but what I'm saying with Putin has like a, you know, he's got these Russian oligarchs who pretty much back him in everything he does.
Except for the one, we'll get to that, the one who put anyway. So first, here, it's right here, actually. I pulled it up, right there.
There we go.
So,
Russian oligarchs are trying to put a hit out on Putin, which is a little fucking crazy.
Offering $1 million to any military officer who apprehends Russian President Vladimir Putin. So after you apprehend him, what are you doing? Oh, you're dead or alive, so you can kill him. But like, what do you just walk over and go, "I'm taking you in"? There's probably 1 million people around you.
Yeah.
To stop you. Like, how does that work?
You got to look at it this way: like, how many you would have to have like a conspiracy to assassinate him. So that $1 million to apprehend him isn't just you. Like, you would literally have to be in cahoots with all of his Secret Service or all of his like inner circle, the people who protect
unless you just walk up behind him and execute him.
In that case, you're dead.
But then you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's to succeed him? Because I hear that his mental health might be, you know, like an issue
that's what I want to talk
too.
about. Hold on. Are you a James Bond fan?
I'm familiar. I'm familiar. Oh. I haven't watched every movie. I haven't watched the last one with Daniel Craig. I know what happens though.
Have you seen any of the Daniel Craig ones?
Yes, I saw. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the Pierce Brosnan ones?
Yes.
Have you seen the Sean Connery ones?
I've seen probably 3 or 4 of the Sean Connery ones, and I saw the Dalton one.
Vladimir Putin is basically a James Bond villain.
Yeah, he's a Bond villain. He's totally. Yeah.
Now imagine James Putin ends up diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor, and he's in control of all these nukes, and he has nothing to live for.
I know, that's pretty crazy.
This is the shit we have to worry about. Like, I told my wife, I didn't know this, but in England, apparently they're buying up all the iodine pills. So I was like, shit, I gotta get myself some iodine pills.
What, for the radiation? Yeah, I know. I mean, like,
hey, do you want to hit this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, they're sort of closer to that action. I mean, they say that they're intercontinental ballistics or whatever, but you know, like, I'm sort of like, I'm like a little optimistic to think that won't happen. You know what I mean? I always felt like that was always like, I know I'm a couple of years older than you, but not by much. But like, I remember that, like, being a kid, and that was like always on the table. I was watching Superman 4 when he had to throw all the nukes out into space, because we were still afraid that somebody was going to shoot a missile with a nuke on New York City and blow up the city. Like, this is like a very real thing. So like, it went away, but now it's back again, because it's like, okay, Putin's putting like up his military defenses. He's not saying we're becoming ready to shoot a nuke. He's saying we're ready to protect ourselves from nukes. And then what that means also is like which also means we're ready to retaliate, because there is no us taking a nuke without sending one back. You know what I mean? Because that
what's crazy is the wording. What you just said, the wording is insane, because you can't say, "I'm ready to defend myself" after invading another country.
Yeah.
hey guys, hey the rest of the world, we're gonna invade this country, but if you attack us, we'll have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
so
I mean,
much. There's so much more to this that we probably don't even know about.
I know, and this is the thing. Like, he's invaded parts of other countries before. In 2000, a lot of people forget. Like, I was watching the news back in 2000. I know I'm dating myself, but the war in Chechnya, where right now they have what is called a rolling occupation. And what a rolling occupation is, they've been slowly moving like 100 meters into Chechnya ever since they started that. So right now they're up to like now they're like a few miles in, but they on the world map, Chechnya is part of Russia. And so is the Dagestan region of Russia. It's also its own separate state, and it was its own ran autonomously, but they have direct political affiliation with Russia. So technically they're under the umbrella, much like what Belarus will soon become officially. Belarus will become part of a Russian state. So it's not going to be a Soviet communist Russian state. It's just going to be a Russian territory. Officially, their leader will be Vladimir Putin, and they'll have a governor, sort of how Dagestan has a governor.
I agree with Royal Zach.
Who cares about gay Crane? It's a CIA puppet state, not worth fighting over. Which, listen, I even entertained that for a little while, and I was like, this is a little fishy. That COVID ends, and now conflict begins, and one erases the other way too conveniently. And I listen, I like to. I don't believe in it. I don't really like to subscribe to any sort of belief. I just like to think about it and then be like, oh, that everything's a possibility until you're 100% sure with 100% definitive evidence. But otherwise, this could totally possibly be that this is all just some sort of a plan. You know what I mean? To sort of goad, Putin into a conflict. This isn't something Putin initially wanted to do because of the ill preparedness of what you're seeing the Russian military is having. They weren't planning in the long term to invade Ukraine on the scale that they're doing. Their plan was probably to pull a complete other Crimea heist and take over just that other part in southern Ukraine, and that was it. And they were going to do another one in about another 5 years, another one in another 5 years until they got enough of the Ukraine in about 2 or 3 decades that they end up taking over the whole country. This is too much in too short a time for them, and they're spreading themselves out too thin. And this may be a plot, a Western plot that's in there now too. But who knows? The thing is, Putin is an ego. And yes, he is a dictator. And yes, he is a super a nationalist-centric president where he wants to take over other parts of former Soviet territory. He does want to do this.
Or he's a hero trying to prevent the Great Reset and stop the New World Order. That's Putin. I'm telling you.
The Great Reset. All right.
Hold on. Full disclosure. We say a lot of shit we don't mean or believe. It's other shit we heard other places that we thought is fucking stupid or something.
I think it's funny to talk about these things out loud and even entertain them, because the thing is, once you it's even, listen, if you can't laugh at it, you can't also think about it seriously too. So the thing is, you can talk about it seriously and laugh at it at the same time in the inverse of that, right? So it is funny to talk about these, topics that people take really fucking seriously. Some of them are fucking insane, let's be honest. But they are funny to talk about. But you got to bring them up because you got to know everything, man. You got to know everything that's out there in order to weed out the bullshit. Also, you know what I mean? I had to. I don't believe in flat Earth, but I had to deep dive. Everybody's got to deep dive. You got to deep dive in order to fucking know.
Listen. I watched every flat Earth documentary. I think I've said this. I said this on our show several times. I've watched every flat Earth documentary on YouTube. Every one of them, all of them, and I'm still not convinced the Earth is flat. I watched one 9/11 documentary, and I'm fucking convinced.
Well, yeah, the 9/11 was a special one. I'll tell you why, because it was our Kennedy assassination.
And we lived in New York. And
and we were like, you know what? I've been in these buildings, and I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah, man.
Not the way that they build those buildings in Lower Manhattan.
The day before, I was in Canal Street at Scrapyard buying supplies to do graffiti. The day before.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I know. I knew guys who were trapped. They were working in Maiden Lane, and they were trapped in the fucking lobby for like 2 hours while the dust was settling, and the dust was still filling into the lobby. I wasn't down there. I was working in Brooklyn, but even still, like it was like fucking. You saw the fucking plume of smoke over over the borough. It went straight across all the way to Rockaway, right across Brooklyn.
Yeah, man.
And it was a crazy day to be around there. But it was like the event was our Kennedy assassination, to where it was just like immediately everybody's dissecting this. It's the virgin internet. You know what I mean? Like everybody's like, oh, what was it? What was it? Okay, Osama bin Laden was the instant answer. And immediately, I want to say within a month after Osama bin Laden being like the focal point for what the media and what the government was saying was who was responsible for this, everybody was coming out of the woodworks with all sorts of theories on how it could have been possible, why all these buildings fell, because Building 7 falling was the fucking first conspiracy theory. It didn't even get hit by a plane. Why did it fall? And everybody's question was, why did it fall? They should have no reason for it to collapse.
Supposedly, it took significant fire damage from debris. Supposedly.
Right, and all that, but it could have been charges, all that stuff. Right?
Yeah.
We know all this stuff right
yeah.
now. What I'm saying is, like, all this stuff came up immediately after. Now it's like the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. It's a week later. My point is, in about another week, you're going to start hearing people be like, wait a minute, because you're already now starting to hear people say, wait a minute. Like Homeboy right now is saying, this could be some deep state shit where there's like fucking, this could be like some like almost false flag operation where we go like could have teased Putin into fucking invading Ukraine. Like nanny poo poo, you're not gonna do it.
Well,
you're not gonna do it.
I think us discussing.
Like, oh, bro, I'll fucking do it. Like in some schoolyard bravado, and then he says, "Call my bluff," because a lot of these soldiers are saying we had no idea they were invading.
We were poking him.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, Ukraine, you see that country over there? It used to be part of you.
Yeah,
they might join NATO.
No, we were more like, hey, Ukraine, you should be part of our team. You should be part of our team. And then Russia's already paranoid to lose fucking border superiority over the outlying states. And if they become NATO or European Union, then they have our weapons right next door to them. Then they got our AR-15s are literally pointed at their AKs across the border the same way as it is in North and South Korea.
I think
and they don't like that shit.
Need to realize though that like the world isn't all hunky dory, and a lot of countries do not get along still. And it all dates, and the history goes back World War I and before that. So
get a lot of people who like to blame us for shit, which the United States is at fault for a lot of fucking.
Do you know who's to blame? Come on, you know who's to blame? Government in general. Government's to blame.
Oh yeah.
Name one good government. Sweden, sure, they're not a real government.
Cui bono? Who benefits? Somebody's benefiting. No matter what, if you're in power and you're making decisions, you're not. No, even if you're living in a communist, we all make the same money state. You're getting compensated in some other way to benefit your life, to make it better than the other guys you're making the decisions for, and that's just how it's always been. In tribal societies, this is how it's been for 10,000 plus years, 12,000 years, however long. Like you could say, like civilization and agrarian civilization has been around, where we had to fucking trade fucking crops and shit and sell goods. As long as we've been doing that, there's been some sort of hierarchy, and there's always been some sort of like who answers to who. And then whoever's at the top is obviously going to be compensated more. And when we started inventing money as a way to pay for goods and services and having currency backed by goods and stuff like that, then obviously the king or the fucking governor is going to be the one who's most benefiting from the runoff from all that shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, thanks for joining us, Everything Treasurer. Is it treasure or treasure? Treasure. Sorry, I couldn't see that.
Treasure. Is there an accent over that? I don't see one.
How would you see an accent in words?
I don't know.
I'm going to do a quick segue away from Ukraine to show you something. I'm going to show you, Ryan, and the audience. So I was looking at Airbnb.
Are we gonna see like a naked person just like sort of trolling in the background?
No. So the kitchen's nice.
I love those.
Living room's nice. Dining room's nice. Bathroom's nice. Bathroom's
You never seen that, like where they sneak a dick, like on the Airbnb, like Redfin? What's up?
What's wrong with the bedroom?
There's a shower in the bedroom.
There's a shower in the bedroom.
No, but you don't like that, bro. That's hot, bro.
You don't find that?
Oh man,
really?
It's convenient. That's for sex.
Wow.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking. That's what's for fucking, dude. It's like there's a nice little bench in there, dude. You just like,
wow.
You know,
I never thought about that actually.
Yeah, dude. Or you done off the bed and you just gotta go wash off real quick. You know?
Yeah, well, there's a nozzle too.
I mean, it's sort of modern, I guess. Like, but you know, like what I'm saying is like, you ever see like somebody sneaks a dick or a dildo in a Airbnb on the slide? Like you don't notice it, but there'd be like a vase in the background, and then a dildo suction cup right next to it.
Is that like in Fight Club?
Yeah, it's like sort of in Fight Club when he'd sneak a dick in the fucking movie reel. You know what I mean? But people sneaking dicks on Airbnb pictures.
Then there's this one. I thought was quite hilarious. So just read the headline.
Damn.
Film legend Jana Jameson confined to wheelchair. Now, I just want to say, I read that and my brain went to dirty places.
Oh, man, yeah. Immediately you think she got blown out for one last good time and that was it?
I was like, what the hell was she doing? Double time on porno? Like working overtime on porn?
She likes those MMA fighters, and I know she was with Tito Ortiz and he beat the crap out of her. No, so maybe this one finally put her in a wheelchair. I don't know. Like, I know she was having mental issues and she was like on a crazy meds.
She's suffering from Guillain-Barré syndrome.
What is that? Like MS?
I don't actually know.
Is it like autoimmune or?
A syndrome, a rare autoimmune disorder in which a person's own immune system damages the nerves, causing muscle weakness and sometimes paralysis. Wow.
Yeah, but paralysis could come from, they could come from autoimmune. Like there's like, you know, like several MS like disorders that could all have like the same, you know,
weird.
The same, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for her. I mean, I beat off to her so many times in the 90s. She was VHS queen. Like she was, the Blue Movie was her big fucking porn, like magnum opus.
I don't even know what that is.
Blue Movie? You don't know Blue Movie?
Don't even know what that is.
Nah, see, I'm a porn aficionado.
I'm not.
I remember Debbie Does Dallas. That was one of the first porns I ever watched. That was on VHS as well. I don't go before VHS.
What is this? This is from 1969?
I did a couple of buddies of mine when I was 10 years old. We snuck into an adult theater that wasn't too far from my old elementary school. We got kicked out. We were there for 10 minutes before they noticed us standing in the corner.
Wow.
I think somebody ratted us out to the usher, and they fucking chased us out. We ran. Yeah, that place is now a beauty salon, but it used to be a porno movie theater. Poor Jana.
Then we have this.
Oh, speaking about MMA fighters beating people up, this one actually shot someone. So
shot at someone too. Chased them down in a car.
Our former favorite, he's one of your favorites too. Our former favorite wrestling champ, heavyweight champ of the UFC, and formerly of the WWE, had shot, I guess, somebody who assaulted sexually one of his relatives, and he I guess shot the guy. I don't know what the details are, but he's charged with attempted murder.
The guy
justifiable is the question.
The guy, you ready for this? The guy worked. The guy worked at the daycare where the kid was.
It's a child, so it's a child.
The kid was under 10 years old, and reportedly said the man took him to the bathroom and fondled his privates over 100 times over the course of the kid's stay there.
Oh, so this is repeat over and over
Yes.
and over again. So this kid came clean and said this happened a whole shitload of times.
Yes, and then he said the guy also took other kids into the bathroom.
So shit! So this dude's Freddy Krueger.
The courts gave him.
Freddy Kruegered him.
The courts gave him. Let's see what it says. Hold on. The courts, I think, didn't set a bail. They let him go.
They let Cain go?
No, not Cain.
Oh,
that's why
let the guy go.
That's why this guy went after him.
Wow.
Let's see. Look at right here.
Dude, I don't know if I could live with Cain Velasquez going to jail, dude.
He was released from custody. The pedophile was released from custody February 24th without bail against the DA's orders. According to the statement, the DA's office was ordered to he was ordered to stay in home detention, remain 100 yards away from any child under 14, and wear an ankle monitoring bracelet, which he allegedly was on his way to obtain when Velasquez gave chase. So Velasquez chased him down, rammed his car, and shot him.
Damn! So
shooting the guy's father by accident.
Premeditated. That's something that he planned to do. That so he's man, Cain could be fucked, dude.
Yeah.
We might not ever see him again.
I mean,
outside of a fucking orange jumpsuit, man.
Because
he did that in Cali, right? That's California. Because he lives in California, right?
Yes, I think.
Fuck, dude.
To be honest, he's not wrong.
I couldn't be on that jury.
The only problem
I couldn't be on that jury. Neither could you.
His approach is wrong. His approach is wrong.
Of course.
He needs to do a double leg takedown to top mount.
Yo, he could have handled that though, but he could have handled that though, right?
Ground the pound until the guy's a bloody.
Velasquez.
Ground the pound until the guy's a bloody pulp. Until he's a
bloody
pulp.
Dude, just like fucking elbows. Keep fucking elbows. But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I'm thinking, like, I'd be in a rage too if it was like a close relative, because it was apparently like a niece or something of his, right? Or something like that.
I think so. It was a boy. Yes. I think so.
Oh, boy, nephew. Ooh, fuck, man. Like, dude, and he did it to other kids. Like, it goes to trial, right? You get, because not everybody knows who he is. Yeah, he's like famous, right? He's famous. But he's not famous.
But yeah.
He's not famous to the effect where he's like, like grandma knows who he is. Like that's, So if grandma gets picked for a jury, she has to hear the story. So the story could get him like maybe less time. But he obviously got caught after running the guy off the road and then shooting him. Like, that's... Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I went out. There we go. Yeah, my audio cut out. I think you might need to take me out the room. And there we go. Now I can hear you.
I didn't say anything, so how do you know?
Well, it looked like you were on a delay, like you had said something before that. I seen your mouth move. There we go.
All right, dumbfounded. So he did respond. Sorry. Where were we?
Sorry, technical difficulties. I thought I maybe lost my Bluetooth signal, but I guess that's not the case.
So what was
all right, now rolling on to the next one. Mr. Musk Tax write-off.
Well,
automatically
it is.
He gets to write off $6 billion right now. I mean, like it's he said he was going to do it. That's a flex. It's an ultimate. It's it's big wallet energy. You know what I mean?
Big wallet energy. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like he said he could do it. And he did it. So fucking whatever, man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's going to the good
wallet
cause.
energy still.
I mean, it's like, you know,
it is what it is.
He flexed. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. He went ahead with it. And he donated as much money as he said he was going to, which is a surprise because I thought maybe he was just going to like, yeah, I sort of have to show up, but he fucking went full force, man.
You know what the story behind it is, right? Right here. The UN, he tweeted that the UN World Food Program showed, just weeks after tweeting that if the UN World Program showed him how 6 billion would solve world hunger, he would sell tests
because that was their estimate
and do it.
Yeah, that was their estimate because they estimated it would cost us $6 billion to end world hunger. And he's like, if that's how much it would cost, I'll donate that right now. That was his flex, right? That was his flex. And he said, I'll donate that right now. And they were like, all right.
That's interesting.
And then he's like, all right, before the year's over. And he did it in November last year. So technically, yeah, he did it before New Year's. We just didn't find out until I think that news came out like a couple weeks ago, right? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's when the world found out is that
this guy fact checked.
He did though. I mean, it wasn't 6 billion. It wasn't 6 billion.
It's 2% of Elon Musk's wealth is 6 billion. In 2020, the UN World Food Program raised 8 billion. How come it didn't solve world hunger? In other words, if they're already raising 8 billion a year, well, because it doesn't actually go to feeding people. It never does.
No, it goes to pay the people who run the organizations. It literally goes, you know, whoever the philanthropist is, you know, like taking these donations, and then they have to pay all these people within the organization because nothing's free. Nothing's free. You know what I mean? They're a nonprofit, which is a write-off for the person who's, I guess, the head of the foundation, but like they still have to pay people to do all the office work and to take donations, to just, you know, disperse, you know, like the funds to the programs that they're supposed to be going to, and this, that, and the other. And so it's like, what is it, like 10% of most charities or what actually goes?
Roughly 10%.
Yeah. And that's average. So there's some more than others. You know, there are charities that are actually like, you know, near 100% of this goes to this, that, and the other. You understand what I'm saying? And most of them are like the smaller ones, like the larger charities, like the big ones that have been around forever and ever. Those are the ones that are usually, 10% of it actually goes to what it's supposed to go to.
Are you seeing this? Pfizer. Damn, I have dry mouth. Pfizer releases its list of vaccine side effects. You're laughing, but this isn't a joke. This isn't a joke post. This is real.
I don't know. I don't know if I have the hours in the day to read all this.
Hold on, I'm gonna find the complete
Can I guess?
document.
Is diarrhea one? Is diarrhea one of them?
We'll find out. Let's see if it loads. Can you see it? Yes. Okay.
Are suicidal thoughts one of them?
Apparently not. Let's see. How do you spell diarrhea? It's such a weird word that I can never spell.
Diarrhea. It's got an H in it, I think.
Thanks.
Suicidal thoughts.
No, it came up with nothing.
Anal leakage.
Bleeding.
Migraine.
No bleeding. No bleeding.
Ear hair. Itchy dick hole.
What?
4-hour erection. Loss of armpit hair.
Whoa. Okay.
Ass pimples. Toe pimples.
Holy shit.
Athlete's finger.
Yo. Look at this. Here it is. List of adverse events of special interest.
Arthritis of the jaw.
Deletion syndrome.
Greening of teeth.
Hydroxyglutaric acidura. What the?
Loss of hearing in only your left ear. Everything tastes like soap.
Acute kidney injury. Everything tastes like soap. If you hated avocado previously, you will now enjoy it.
You will now enjoy it.
If you hated cilantro previously, you will now enjoy it. No, but seriously, look at all these lists.
Like Tootsie Rolls.
Wow.
If you're a vegan, you swear you crave red meat.
So the vaccine causes COVID pneumonia.
Greening of your semen.
Greening of your semen.
And teeth. Of your semen and teeth. And teeth. Your teeth turn green too. Yo, the mad side effects. Listen, dude, you know, like, but in all honesty, and this isn't defending them at all, like, it's actually fucking, if anything, damning them more. You look at other medications from Pfizer, there's a CVS receipt of side effects too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is some of the side effects?
Hold on,
Ryan.
Everybody knew the CVS receipt of side effects from this thing were it was going to look like this. I know this is in my veins. So you don't have to mock me.
So it's an alphabetical order of side effects. And these are the side effects of COVID. It's an alphabetical order.
Arrhythmia? Is arrhythmia one of them?
Well, I got to the letter H, second letter E, third letter R, fourth letter P.
Herpes?
So the vaccine can cause. Let's start with the first herpes. Herpes dermatitis.
No.
Herpes.
Oh shit.
Gestatitis, whatever the fuck that word is. Herpes, something with your esophagus.
So the Pfizer.
Herpes cervicatis, whatever. I can't say this. Herpes simplex.
Cervicitis.
Simplex. Yeah. Meningitis.
10.
Herpes simplex. Where'd it go? Pneumonia.
Oh,
herpes
shit.
simplex pneumonia.
Oh my
herpes
god.
simplex
Cervicitis.
reactivation. Herpes simplex sepsis.
Herpes simplex colitis. That's herpes of the asshole. Oh shit, mad herpes. So all the herpes, right?
All the herpes.
So, all right. So Mike, what you're telling me is that the Pfizer vaccine
causes herpes.
Potentially a dose could have all of the herpes. Like you get all of the herpes is how many S's are there? Is it herpes and then apostrophe S's? That's a lot of herpes. There was 30 herpes.
30 herpes.
I counted 30 herpes. There was 30 herpes.
So it's safe to say
that's crazy,
that the
man.
Pfizer vaccine is responsible for 30 herpes.
Could potentially. I don't got herpes, and I got the Pfizer shot. So you're saying I could have gotten herpes from the Pfizer shot?
You probably definitely have herpes right now.
You think right now I have herpes from the
Pfizer vaccine? Shot? Yes.
No, wait. What about the Moderna shot? Moderna, what the fuck? Moderna doesn't have herpes? Like, the Pfizer's the only one that had herpes? I don't think it's all the Pfizer shots had herpes. I think the potential, like, they have to say if there's like 0.0001% in the whole batch that came out in 2021, or when did I get the shot? In 2021, that maybe one person got all of the herpes and that just took care of that. Oh, we have to put this in. And maybe they got all of the herpes not because, like it was from the Pfizer shot. They just happened to get the Pfizer shot and they took a weekend trip to Miami.
Wow.
At the same time. And they just said that's what they were doing. And people, you know how many fucking people were just getting their shots like in New York and fucking Chicago, and they were coming to fucking South Florida to vacation because it's like you can do whatever the fuck you want here. It's like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want down here because we're free down here, and you live in a cuck city but like they brought their herpes with them. So maybe somebody just coincidentally
Hold on.
got all of the herpes, partying in
But then
Miami,
if it happened
and they
one
were
time,
just part of the Pfizer, I don't know, bro. I call bullshit on that.
If it happened one time, it wouldn't be on that list. It's had to have happened multiple times.
Why Clev Jean over here? Okay,
however,
one time, two time, whatever, bro. Like what I'm saying is,
they gave more than 5 billion shots of the Pfizer vaccine. So effectively today, about 5 billion people have herpes.
Everybody has herpes.
5. Wow. And not really, obviously. Those were.
You mean Pfizer infected? Pfizer infected the world with herpes. Like COVID couldn't do it. So this is not the COVID pandemic; it's the herpes pandemic.
Wait,
this is how we got
what's that herpes medication? What's it called?
Valtrex.
Who owns Valtrex? Let's see. Who owns
Pfizer?
I had to spell it wrong because it's giving me no. That's not. Who owns the
it's not
herpes?
VAL, like VAL Trex. Herpes meds. Google herpes meds.
Valtech. What?
Who makes it? Is it Pfizer?
Oh, it's a generic drug, so it's cheap now. So everybody.
Oh, they lost their patent on it.
Well, it expired. Okay. It doesn't last forever. Right. Let's see. But it was originally invented by. Oh, it works for shingles too.
That's chickenpox is shingles, right? Isn't that like the chickenpox virus is still in your body?
Yeah, it's herpes. Chickenpox is herpes zoster. Zolster, not like Zolister. There's no L in it. Yeah. So we all have
Pfizer
herpes
still
anyway.
Has to have some sort of fucking. So the world is herpes.
The world is herpes.
The world is that the name of the next episode? The world is herpes.
No.
Why not?
It should be the name of this episode. The world is herpes. I just said that. Well, that'll be the name. The clip. When I make the clip of the herpes, clip of the side effects of the vaccine, it's going to be called "The World Is Herpes."
That's a hard pill to swallow, guys. This is how Pfizer. Okay, now number one.
That had double meaning.
Just speculating.
This was a hard pill to swallow.
That Pfizer gave everybody herpes. Pfizer gave me herpes. Did you get the shot? Did you get the Pfizer shot?
Yes.
Then you got herpes from Pfizer.
No.
Do we have a class action
lawsuit
against
herpes
Pfizer?
From Pfizer.
Oh. I got it from a public toilet in the Jersey Shore.
I got it when I was like 9 years old. Chickenpox.
From chickenpox, man. Yo, I have chickenpox scars. My mom had to tape socks to my hands to stop me from. No, the freckles came later. Before I hit the sun, I was like 4 years. I was young. I had chickenpox, man. Got the chickenpox young. That's when they used to throw all the kids in a living room with some toys, and they would throw a diseased one in with you, and you're like, "Who's this kid?" And you're like, "Hi, nice to meet you for the first time." You go crawl up to him, and you're like, "Play with my GI Joe," and you give him the GI Joe, and then you get all the fucking the herpes pox.
I thought what you did was you give them one lollipop.
I ain't never done nothing like that before, bro. That sounds fucked up, bro. Is that what you used to do? They all make you share one lollipop, motherfucker? That's pretty fucking strange, man.
It's more effective than giving a toy. I don't know. I tried. I threw a dart.
Ugh, that's a rough one.
At least it wasn't a black people joke.
Oh, now that was for last week's episode.
No one will ever know, though.
Nah, you know what? Like, really? I'm sort of disappointed in like what's happening in Ukraine. Only because
it's people and families being displaced from their homes.
Yeah, but why I'm disappointed is that like when I was living in New York, I was living in Brooklyn, and I was living in a neighborhood, and I was surrounded by Ukrainians and Russians. And
they are
I just want to
exactly
know how not really. I mean, yes and no. I mean, culturally, there's a lot of similarities and stuff like that, but you know, like sometimes no, like sometimes you can tell the difference if you look at one person or the other.
I recently found out.
But the thing is, I just want to know how the fucking neighborhood is now with this shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know how shit is like in Sheepshead Bay and like
Brighton Beach,
Brighton Beach, Coney Island, Gravesend, Bensonhurst, like that whole South Brooklyn area, Sheepshead Bay, Midwood, this whole neighborhood.
I mean, there's no Russians in Midwood anymore.
Ocean Parkway, you know what I mean? Ditmas, all of this area. I want to know what's going on with the Russian people and the Ukrainian people. No, but you get a lot of Russians who are denouncing this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
They're like, they're like this. Yeah, Putin's crazy. And, he's a wild one. Now, a lot of people like to bring this scenario as a little fantasy play. What if, Mr. T, Trump was still president and this shit went there? You think this shit would have still went down? A lot of people are saying Putin thinks that fucking Biden's soft, so that's why he took this opportunity, to push back on the NATO thing and
unfortunately
invade Ukraine as a flex himself.
We're never gonna know. We're never gonna know. We'll never know if that's the truth. However,
I know we'll never know. What do you think? Do you think like they would have fucking still marched in? I think a part of me still thinks that fucking Putin would have gotten froggy with Trump too.
If they still did march in, if it still happened, we'd be at war already. I think
he would have declared quicker. Because
just because he's
so now this is a good segue.
He'd just be like, not on my watch.
So now this is a good segue. Riddle me this, Batman. Now, how long do you think until the Biden administration goes to Congress with the declaration of war against Russia? Or do you think that happens at all under Biden?
I don't think that happens until someone else does it, or some big.
You mean like, for example, like if the EU, right, says, yo, we're fighting Russia, we have to back them, right? Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they declared war, or Turkey, I think I heard Turkey was close to doing it. Turkey they kept it real. Turkey said, listen.
They were launching shit at the Russians,
weren't they? They said to Russia, they said, hey, listen, guys, according to the way we think, this was an act of war. He's like, you just invaded another sovereign nation. This is an act of war. And I think they were helping the Ukrainians. They're the only ones. Or someone else. It was them and someone else.
Yeah, I think they have a few people that got their back and shit. And
their president,
obviously.
Man, speaking of which, their president is a comedian. He was a comedian actor.
I know. He was like he was like an Adam Sandler type, right?
Yeah,
like he did gags and stuff.
Terrible
like
movies,
in
like Adam Sandler,
he would do outrageous shit. Yeah. Somebody said he was like a Steve Carell. That's how they try to explain it to me, because other stand-up comedians are like, no, I mean, he's a comedian. Yeah, he's a comedic actor. And that's what stand-ups say, because he's not like a stand-up comedian. But there is some gags and stuff that he does dick jokes. There was like a skit where it's like, something
now he has a gun and he's fighting the Russians.
Yeah, the guy's got a flak jacket on. Fighting the Russians, the Klitschko brothers, Lomachenko, these fighters, these boxers are fucking warriors now, like holding it down. You know what I mean? People are taking up arms and they're fucking, they're being brave as fuck, which is Lomo's there too. Yep. All these champion fucking boxers are defending their turf against the Russians. It's crazy, man. You know, like
Oh,
I
he
really
did.
hope.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. He took up arms. I read that yesterday, I think.
When's Khabib joining the Russian army?
Yeah, man. When's Fedor joining the Russian army?
He's too old.
They don't have to, because the thing is, like, you know what? Hold on a second. Newsflash. This could legit be a no matter who was president, Vladimir Putin would have done this anyway situation. And I'll tell you why. People aren't having as much babies in Russia. It's hard for them to maintain their military. Vladimir Putin is getting older. If he's going to make a move to procure land and territory to sort of supplement the resources, because there are very mineral-rich countries, like the joke is from Borat, Kazakhstan, best potassium, blah, blah, blah. The joke has its truth, you know, like to where there are minerals and mineable minerals that are very important to like the production of computer parts and stuff like that. And they have oil and natural gas themselves that they obviously, this is what sort of sparked this whole fucking conflict with Germany, because there was gas going to Germany, and that sort of provoked them to go. And that's why everybody's saying that we sort of maybe bullied Putin into going in over that whole Germany natural gas line. But I digress. Anyway, so they want to take over. There's a need for Putin to take over these former Soviet states to get the resources from them. You know what I mean? And Ukraine has a lot of them. And Ukraine is the biggest one out of all of them. So, you know, it would make sense that he would want to take it over. But, you know, like just the timing of it and like how it happens and why it happened. You know what I mean? It probably would have happened no matter what, because Putin's like, I got to retire and I need to know that I did this before I retired. So at least now the Ukraine is our military. We need to take it over because we need the numbers, because Ukraine is prospering and people are having kids and expanding their families. When in Russia, nobody's really having kids, and there are people who aren't trying to sign up for the military, so the military numbers are going down. So they're just going to get weaker in time if they don't make a sort of aggressive move. Now's the time to do it, for in his mind. You know what I mean? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. I can't wait 20 years to take over the Ukraine, because I'm not going to have the wits about me to do it. My successor will have to worry about that, which he may fail. Or she may fail, or whoever. I don't know. I'm just trying to be. Maybe he might live to 100. Who knows?
How do I say this? My geography is terrible. I had no idea Kazakhstan was where it was. I had no idea Georgia was where it was. Not the state, obviously.
Well, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan are next to each other. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan are all in the same cluster by Mongolia and China and Afghanistan, just north of India, right? So there's Central Asian. Those stands are Central Asia. Dagestan, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan are in that cluster over there by the Caspian Sea. And then the Black Sea is Ukraine and Turkey and Moldova, I think. Am I right? You're looking at a map?
Yes.
Romania,
Istanbul.
Moldova, and then to the north is Belarus and Poland of Ukraine. Northwest. Belarus and Poland. And the thing is, that's a scare too for the Polish, because Belarus is pretty much, we're part of Russia. They're completely, we're friends. They let Russian military use Belarus to go in, to get into Ukraine, to go into Kiev, because Kiev is close to Belarus and Russia, like the border. You know, it's very close. Kiev is not far from the border of Russia and Belarus. So it was strategically better for the Russians to go into Belarus, and Belarus is like, yo, we're homies. We love you, Russia. We're not NATO. We're not going to NATO. But Poland, I think, is they're European Union, right? Poland?
They're EU? No. Let's see.
I know they have a NATO affiliation or an EU affiliation or both.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Poland is in the EU.
So, and then that's another thing. If fucking Russia gets froggy, let's just say they fucking actually come back out of this, you know, like bad effort at the beginning and actually take over Ukraine and expand and then fully engulf Belarus and take over Estonia, Latvia, get everybody who's former Soviet, right? And then they go in. Do you think they'll get froggy and go Hitler style and just say, let's just go into Poland? You know, Finland. Finland could be next because now they're having problems with Finland. Russia's having issues with Finland. Now Finland's like, we want to do the EU thing because they're not part of the EU, Finland. But they border northern Russia by St. Petersburg up north. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's another fucking thing that could pop up too.
And Sweden and Norway. Is Norway
there could be some Scandinavian countries that could get pulled into some fucking shit too. So, and this could be in the long haul, 10 years from now. If this is a conflict that's just starting now, and now we're going to be in another fucking 2-decade war with Russia. You know, now nukes a fucking issue. Now we're talking nukes. And we're, you know, which great graphic, by the way. very
the
optimistic of the outcome.
Yeah, wow. Norway was one of the founding members of NATO.
Yeah, post World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And is Sweden in NATO? I don't think they are.
What is it called? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization or something like that? Yep. It was, you know, because they didn't want to have another world war happen again. Like, it was to prevent anything like that from happening. So what had happened was NATO formed, right? And then they formed their coalition, and the United Nations sort of formed separately too, to include all nations of the world. But anybody who was involved in World War II was pretty much part of NATO who went with the West. And then the Eastern Bloc countries are who went with the East, or Russia, like Poland, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Romania, Hungary. They all became communist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think all these countries had their own dictators. Like, there was a guy named Ceausescu, who I think he was like Romanian, like dictator, but he was communist. Like, Poland had a communist dictator. Like they all, like Yugoslavia had a communist dictator that were all loyal to the Soviets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had their coalition, and then NATO was like, you know, like West Germany, France, Spain, England, you know, Britain, you know what I mean? Norway, Sweden, blah, 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 blah.
NATO was formed because they were all scared of Russia.
I don't think Finland ever became part of NATO because Finland was always bordered to USSR. They were still bordered. You know, they share their second longest border.
They're not NATO. I think they're part of the European Union, though, but they're not.
Yeah, but now they're talking about going NATO.
Mm-hmm.
Now. So countries, it might as well be a company. Other countries, you know, start affiliating themselves. That starts to get a little hot because now, like, you know, your friend group starts growing a little bit. Russia could be intimidated by that, being like, well, you know, we're just going to take other countries over to make them part of our crew. So I don't know how this is going to fucking unfold, but it's going to be interesting, and I am not optimistic on it ending early because, you know, he who has not learned from history is doomed to repeat it. And the last fucking conflict we were in for fucking 2 decades plus. So, and, you know, are we even still out of that, you know, in the Middle East? You know, Yemen's still going on.
Yeah, but I think if we went to war with Russia, we're not doing any building back in Russia or what they call it, regime changes, or what, like, we're not going to try to fix their country. We're going to try to annihilate their country.
It's a hit job.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hit job. Yeah, it's a hit job. Yeah, and we're not trying to fucking help them, which is fucked because you know that we're gonna end up doing damage. They could end up doing damage too, man.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a little. If
I'm
we
ready
both
for an
go at it, and we
invasion,
both
though.
use. If we both.
I'm ready for an invasion, though. I don't give a fuck, man. You're gonna have to come down here. You're gonna have to flee to Florida, to a free state, so you could take up arms against the fucking
I'm running to
invading
Canada.
Russians. Damn, they like the cold too, bro.
I was just gonna say, you have to.
They
If
could
you want
take
to beat the,
Alaska. They could take Alaska if they want. You know what I
if you
mean?
want to beat
And
the
then that'll
Russians,
be
you go
fucked.
south because it's warm. They might not be able to handle that heat.
Okay, come down to Florida.
All right, let's wrap this shit up.
Hell yeah!
Thanks for
Moral of the
watching.
story.
Oh shit,
Whoa.
Raymond's here. Raymond found us. Hey Raymond. Fuck, we're about to end it too.
What is it good for?
He's from Australia.
Absolutely nothing.
Raymond, we're on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock our time. Check us out next time, bro.
What
Like and
is it
subscribe.
good for?
Have a good night, everybody.
Absolutely nothing.